What's up, y'all? Welcome to our March shop tour. Hey y'all, so we'll start here at the 1972 Chevrolet Nova. We know you've seen a lot of this thing and it's been coming closer and closer to completion. We've been working on a lot of different things on this car. Here recently, we've been installing that American Autowire harness, the Holley EFI. We've got the Terminator X controller, the Hyperspark coil, and the ignition box. They're all mounted underneath the dash to hide them. So we had to make some cool little brackets to bolt those two and get them where they're up placed under there. They're stationary and they're not gonna move anywhere, but also keep them hidden and then away from everything else. So got that going on. You can see here in the floor, we've got the Mosier 9-inch center section. We got that thing primed and painted. It's ready to go in the car now. With actually a 325 gear with this thing. It's got a turbo 350, 3-speed non-overdrive automatic. So we opted for that. Should be a pretty decent gear for both kind of around town driving, but also not run those RPMs up way too high if he needs to get out and go cruise on the interstate as well. Inside, like I said, we got Dakota Digital gauges going in. The vintage air is already in there. It's plumbed. It's ready to go. The Holley Terminator X controller, American Autowire harness. We're using their Highway series harness, so it's where you mount the fuse panel and then run all the wires to it. And then we're going to start doing a little bit of planning and R&D, so we're going to build a full console for this thing as well. So stay tuned for that. That'll be a pretty neat little thing going in. We're going to add the vintage air. 2 of the vents are going to be in the console. The other 2 are running out at the factory vent location on each side of the dash. You can see here, this is getting a little bit closer to completion. The hoses, so heater hoses and AC hoses have been run. We tucked them up underneath the fender. You can see the block off plate. We painted it to match the Hugger orange. Got all the serpentine on it, coolant hoses. We made everything for the EFI. It's ready to go. We still haven't put the distributor in because we're going to prime this oil system before we start the motor. It's not been run, he said, I think 3 years, and that's before we picked it up. So we're getting all the parts put on it, make sure everything's good. But before we drop the distributor in and time it, we're gonna put the priming tool in so that we can spin it up, make sure the oil pressure comes up as good, and then get everything lubricated so that on a dry start, we don't mess anything up. Again, you know, we've done the Wilwood brakes on this thing for those of you that haven't seen it. So it's got the Wilwood master cylinder. We've got 13-inch brakes all the way around, 6-piston calipers on the front, 4-piston on the rear. This thing should be stopping really nice. The Rytec coilover system, tubular control arms, spindles. We got a narrowed 9-inch rear end in this joker. We narrowed it 5 inches, I think 5¼ inches, and then did the Detroit Speed mini tubs. So got a really good look. Billet Specialties 2-piece wheels. It's their Pro Touring series, full polished lip and full polished center, and sitting on some Michelin tires. 72 Nova, there we go. It's pretty cool. We got to use a lot of cool parts from Holley, Billet Specialties, American Autowire, vintage air, etc. on that. We're excited to see it come to completion. Right here, we just got this in. There's a bunch of small things we've got to do to this to get back on the road. So the owner, she wants to be able to drive this thing again. We've got to get some new tires. We've got to get some new coilovers for the front of it, do some electrical diagnosis, troubleshooting, and repair here and there. But it's actually a really cool truck. You can tell it's a little bit older built street rod, but it's really presents well and it's really nicely done. I love the full fender. It's got a nice stance. We're gonna put a little bit larger tire all the way around, probably raise it up just a hair in the front with those coilovers, and she wants it to be where it's a little bit easier for her to drive in multiple scenarios and road conditions. And then in the back, we're gonna put a larger tire to kind of just fill up those wheel wells, make it look a little better. But you know, pretty cut and dry. It's got a small block Chevrolet 700R4 overdrive transmission. We've got serpentine system, got classic instruments gauges, really nice interior. These pickup trucks have gotten really hot. All truck manufacturers, so Ford, Chevrolet, all of them. And this is a neat example of kind of a 35, a street rodded truck, which we like to see. Got bed wood, looks really good. The paint's held up really nicely for this thing to have been done as long as it has. And we're excited to get her back on the road, be able to drive it and enjoy it again. So here, 1970 Impala, y'all seen this before as well. We are almost to the finish line where we can start this thing up, hopefully, and make sure all the lights and circuits work. But again, we've put an American Autowire Highway Series wire harness in this thing. And Dakota Digital gauges. We really are just got to button a few things up, terminate a few ends, and then we can hook the battery up to this thing and start testing all the circuits, lights, blinkers, wipers, etc. Make sure they work, and then make sure that it'll fire up. So this thing should be leaving pretty soon, but pretty neat old car. Another new one we've got here, you can see a 69 Camaro. We've done a little work on this thing in the past, and it's here for some paint repair. So it's got a couple places that are blistering up, the rear section, the quarter panel, they had a slight little fender bender. We've got to fix it. So we're gonna dig into this and kind of all of the issues that the owner has identified and that we identify, we're going to just start seeing what's under there. We'll start stripping paint off, stripping primer, see adhesion issues, see what's going on, and then see how much paint work we actually have to do this when it's all said and done. We already talked about having to pull this vinyl top off. It's got some issues all around through here, back through there, just cracking, bubbling, and we're gonna dig in, get it fixed for it. That's the clean shop. You know, we've got a bunch of cool stuff in here. Some new stuff for you to see. Finally, springtime in Tennessee, we're enjoying that. And here we are. So we'll go check out the dirty shop, show you what's in there. All right, so we're over here in the dirty shop, specifically the body shop bay right here. You've seen this car before, 1969 Mustang Fastback. We did a lot of work with this a couple years ago. You know, we did crate motor, transmission, EFI, Rytec coilovers, Wilwood brakes. We put the wheels and tires on it. We did some paint work here and there, put a new harness in it, gauges, vintage air, all the good stuff. And the owners have been out enjoying this car, driving around, and it's just back for a small repair. So we had a little place that was bubbling up right here. Again, you know, most of this car has been painted since like the early 90s is when they had it restored, and it was a factory restoration. And then a couple years ago, we came and did a lot of the updating to make it more of a resto-mod and more easily to drive. So there's a little issue right here going on. So we fixed that, ended up stripping this whole panel right here, resprayed it, and I just actually buffed this thing this morning, and the owners are gonna come pick it up tomorrow. So again, a neat little car. It's got a 408 stroker motor, Holley EFI, got a 4R70W, automatic overdrive transmission, Wilwood brakes, all the good stuff that we normally do. And it's been a neat little car. I enjoy driving this car as well. But yeah, this is kind of the Mustang bay. We got an 03 right here. Pretty neat little car, well kept. It's low mileage and it's a nice little car. So we have got Rytec coilovers to put on this thing. We've got BMR K-member, tubular control arms. We've got American Racing long tube headers. We've got X-pipe, and then we got some subframe connectors. So it's kind of sitting over here right now, just in storage until we can get it on a 2-post lift, get it up off the ground, start pulling some parts off and replacing. But again, we got Mustangs over here, pretty cool. A little bit of old, a little bit of new. Yeah, this will be leaving soon, and that one we'll get to work on soon. And over here we have the GM truck bay, right? So we got Mustangs there, GM trucks here. Y'all seen this before, obviously. It is a full build for us, sitting on the Roadster shop chassis. It's got a blueprint 6.2 LS for putting a boiler 8 stack. We've got small block Chevrolet valve cover adapters. And so we're just now getting to work on kind of mocking this up, fitting it, doing the sheet metal work and all that. So you can see we welded up the stake pocket holes. We welded this up. We're gonna do like a hidden latch system versus having the chains and stuff hanging out right here. Brand new bed from Autometal Direct. I mean, the entire thing is new. These are pretty cool. So these are the wider wheel tubs. Autometal Direct is also making these for these trucks. You can see, so we have got my 325 tire that's gonna go under the back of this on a 20-inch wheel. So it'd be a 20 by 12 and a 325 tire. So we gotta have these so that we have the room for those. Right here, you know, we just deleted the fuel filler. So the tank is not gonna be behind the seat anymore. It's back there under the bed. Had to delete that. So you can see the metal work looks good. Had to replace the bottoms of both doors, inner and outer pretty much. New rockers, inner and outer rockers. These are brand new fenders from Autometal Direct. We've got a new hood. You can see this is a GMC, so it's actually got a little bit different grill in it, which we're excited about, makes it kind of cool. But a lot of this sheet metal on front is also new, and we're just kind of getting it hung on there, see how it's gonna fit, see what we're gonna have to massage and change and cut and so forth. But you can see here, that blueprint is in there. We've got a 4L65E transmission from Gearstar. And so we've got the adapters on, you can see for the small block Chevrolet, and again, we've got a boiler 8 stack going on that. So dressing up a little bit more like a small block Chevrolet, give it a little less of that LS look. We're gonna do some smoothing on the firewall. We're trying, like I said, trying to make sure we have enough room for this and that. This is a US radiator shroud electric fan combination. These guys are out of Gadsden, Alabama, make really nice stuff. We actually ended up putting some brackets on the side so we can hard mount it to the core support. We're gonna delete this, you know, have the radiator bracket goes on top. And so we're getting rid of that, trying to figure out what kind of bead rolled piece we want to fab for the front is like a cover panel. But again, really just trying to make sure everything fits at this point, and then we'll start massaging, gapping, doing all the cool stuff after that. But yeah, 66 GMC truck. It's gonna be a really neat, excited to see this thing. It's gonna be a brand new wine color. We're gonna have 19 and 20-inch billet specialties wheels. You can see we got the little Eddie Motorsports polished billet hinges, but it's gonna be tasteful. It's gonna still retain a lot of its 1966 GMC look. So, you know, we're putting all the moldings back on it. We're keeping the door handles. The only thing we got rid of is the fuel filler, and then we got rid of the antenna hole right here as well. But other than that, it's gonna have most of the moldings and emblems and chrome and stuff on it, just like it did from 1966. We're just kind of updating it and making it a little slicker and look nicer. This right here, you can tell, is a 63 C10 actually. It's on the ground, you can tell it's on the Porterbuilt fab, front and rear, so it lays out really nice. It's bagged. We've done a lot of work to it, did a lot of paint work, put vintage air on it, new carpet, sound deadening, all that inside. We swapped over. It was a tri-power on a small block, and he never could get it to run right, so he had a 4-rail intake and carburetor that we put on it. So it actually starts up and runs now. And then this is what we've been working on. The latest part is we had to build the whole frame and stuff for this, get the bed squared up, and then we've made the centerpiece. You can tell that hinges. Got those gas struts that hold it up so that you can get to all this to service it, look at it, whatever you want. We've got to finish that up. Guys did a good job. BB did. So he made this panel that's going to go in the rear, which is really nice. I'm excited to see that in there. He put these little beads in here, so they're going to match right up with the bed strips, which is kind of cool. These are pockets for the tailgate straps that they're going to fall into, and then these are going to be cut out, and it's got these little latches that are going to go in here, so you can reach in here and unlatch and pick up this middle piece. So a lot of cool fab work. He's done a really good job on that. We just got to get it kind of prepped and primed, and this finished up, and then this thing will be leaving, going back to town. But again, it's two 60 to 66 C10s here at one time, two Mustangs at one time, but we got some cool stuff going on. So this is the Dirty Shop. Just give you an idea. Stay tuned on the 66. There's going to be a lot done to it. Again, it's a full build. I'm excited about it. Just check us out next month, and we'll have some more shop tour for you then.